Why do the Democrats think that us normal average people in rural neighborhoods don't have any intelligence, or think that we're just going to continue to allow them to obstruct Elon and Trump, who we voted for and who we support, should continue to stand in front of buildings and stop the audits, and no-name judges just continuing to tell Trump and Elon they can't and don't have access to the Treasury or to any public records, to delete everything, to just forget about law, don't follow any kind of procedure, just cease and desist. I've been a victim of lawfare for as long as I can remember. Haven't seen a tax check or anything. I didn't never sign a right away for my child. I'm not arrested for domestic abuse. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I did two little things in my entire life when I was a young man. I'm 45 years old, and it's been close to 2 decades. I never signed no rights away for my child. I informed officials she was kidnapped, and I was told word for word, and I quote, "Mr. Rombosky, it's not our problem. We're here to follow the court order." And I couldn't believe my ears that the world allowed this to happen. I've been drugged out of my house. I've been handcuffed. I've been stripped. I've been searched. I've been embarrassed. I've had slander to my name. Yet, I own my home. I own my property here in Indiana. I own 12 acres. I own a 2-story home. It's all paid for. I don't have a mortgage. I don't use government programs. I don't depend on anybody. I cut my own firewood. If you was to, matter of fact, there's my fireplace right there. Look in there. It's going. There's the wood. It's over there.
Tesla.sexy LLC. I mean,
just because we live in the country don't mean we're ignorant. Does not mean that we cannot band together or stand up for what's right. I don't have a voice. I don't have the platform that these other people have, but I'm going to continue to fight. I am not going to ask for handouts. I'm not going to lower myself to have somebody else fight my battles. I mean, it would be nice having help because I'm figuring this all out on my own, but as far as I'm concerned, somebody needs to be held accountable, at least from my perspective, in my situation. I deserve, and my daughter deserves, a relationship with me. She deserves to see her grandmother and her great-grandmother who love her dearly, where she has a home, where she has a room, where she has support. If they would have taken action when I informed the officials, 10 years later, she's now in foster care because the exact thing I warned them of 10 years ago that they did not want to hear. I have recording, a 45-minute recording. I have paperwork. I have text messages with DCS where they're working with me to get her back into my custody because she was wrongly taken out of state. They just don't want to hear it. They can do what they want to do as long as they're getting paid. Like I said, I've been drug out of my home. I've been drip dry. I've almost lost my home. Our family is just, we're in shock and awe that nothing has been done. But enough with this rant. There's probably nobody even watching. But, I mean, I plan on being a little bit more outspoken. The rest of the people need to get together too, and even if nobody sees it, even if one person sees this, they need to see that people are aware of what's going on. These people that are in this government don't realize that majority rules and the people run those buildings, and we want him to do that. Anyway, I plan on making a bunch more videos. I know the quality of this is bad, and I know that the quality needs to be drastically upgraded and everything, and I probably need better equipment, but I'm just a country boy that's, needed to put his thoughts out there. He needed for people to see that, I mean, I just,
congressman from California,
I don't know what to do. I mean, they get you wrapped up in lawfare, and you're stuck in the system. And I get they mess with some fairly bad people. There's probably some pretty bad people out there. I mean, and they hear a lot of stories. And a lot of people probably say I'm innocent. But what about the hardworking people that fought for the country, like me, or that are older, in our 40s, grew up in the 80s, one of the last good generations in my opinion. I mean, no offense to any youngsters out there, but I mean, the 80s and the 90s, 70s, I mean, none of this nonsense existed, and we didn't have all these new illnesses that are going around, and we could run through the woods. I remember when I could run through the woods and sprint and jump over maybe a log or two. You can't even go in the woods here in Brown County, Indiana. Anything in Indiana, in the state forest, you can't go in my woods, my 12 acres. There's dead trees. I mean, there's perfectly alive trees that just uproot and fall down. The earth's dying. I get that. I don't know if it has to do with climate change. I just think it has to do with all the pollution and everything. I mean, which we just throw stuff on the ground and nobody even thinks about it. What about all the cigarette butts on the ground? I mean, that stuff soaks up. You will never see me throw a cigarette butt on the ground. I will always put my cigarette butts in my back pocket if I'm out and about. I'm running errands. I mean, it's little things like that, pushing the shopping cart back up to the storefront when you're done with it. I mean, I know they pay somebody to do it, but everybody wants to complain about grocery prices, but nobody wants to do the right thing, hold a door open, say, excuse me, just be patient on things. Nobody can drive anymore. There's people out there that don't even know what another state looks like, and yet they're out here screaming like they know what the whole world is, and they have the answer for everything just because they read a couple books. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I've read a lot. I'm not some ignorant hillbilly that just doesn't have an education. I love AI. I love building. I built my first computer at 10 years old when Apple's was the 386 green screen, the old Macs, back in school, Oregon Trail. I was building computers back then and learning about them. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me that I can hang with the best of them. AI is where the future's going. I see that. If I would have invested in some of the things I grew up in with, like Nike and Google and all that, and eBay back when I was using it, and MMORPG and stuff, and streaming it, and I was doing it back before that was even a thing, back in the old Yahoo chat days, where I was shutting chat rooms down and kicking people out and taking over the mic and doing stupid stuff when I was a kid, writing little scripts and stuff that would overrun the chat room. But I've just recently gotten back into it because I don't even want to go out anymore. And when I do, I mean, I really don't see the issues that these people are on TV screaming about. And if there are like people like that in the cities, I think they need to beware, because there's a lot more of us than there is of them. There's a lot more of us than there is of you. And I'm telling you, there's people out here in the country just like me. There's people out here that's been, working hard their whole life, building, contributing to society. Actually being a part. I know if the lights go out, I can survive. I know I can feed my family. I know I can stay warm. I know I could stay dry. I know where I can get supplies. I know how to live off the land, what I can eat, what mushrooms, what barks. The question is, all you people out there with answers, are you bureaucrats? Do you? Do you really know much of anything other than how to use law against people?
So why would teachers be leaving the teachers profession.
Do you know how the
While
real
kids are
world
still
works?
stuck in the same
The
system.
ones that's not hidden in
Because
any
they
office
realize
room
at
or
this
with
point,
private security?
everything they've seen,
I
it's
do.
not working.
I do.
Yet somehow, they get
Anyway,
billions
I plan on
and
adding good
billions
videos.
of
I'm going to
dollars
edit. I'm
of
going
your
to,
money.
talk about other
But the
subjects.
scores go
I'm going to
down.
be putting myself out there. I'm going to make my voice heard because I think I have a lot to contribute
To the point
contribute
where
to
they have
society,
to
and I
lower the
think that,
standards so they have the appearance
I think
of
everybody needs to
graduating.
be starting to do this, spreading the
As
news
though
about
they've gotten smarter.
our
No,
local
just not.
issues.
Just
And
don't fail.
these issues don't exist where I'm at right
You
now.
can't
But if
read.
they
Just
start
don't
heading
fail.
here and I
Just
start
put it to
seeing
the
them
next
like I
grade.
see on Barry
And so
Cunningham,
the kid
or I
goes from
see
4th, 5th, 6th,
on
7th,
Twitter,
8th grade, he graduates
you
from
better
high
believe
school,
people like
you
me
can't
will
freaking
fight.
read.
I mean,
That's
we
not where we should be spending
are the
our
heart
money
of this
whatsoever.
country.
I think the Democrats are
I don't
going
care
to
what color
lose
skin you are. I got
all
love for
over
everybody
their
as long
opposition
as
to
you are a
Doge. Like, is
common
Doge
sense
really
individual.
viewed as
And if you use
oppositional to
common
Democrat
sense
Party
and
interests?
treat me with respect
For
when
the
you interact
average
with me,
person, it's
I
a
will
bullshit
treat you the
test.
exact same,
I
if
think the
not
thing
better.
is that there was a coalition that the Democrats
Anyway,
had, and there was a
if
coalition
you like
that
this
the
video,
Republicans had.
or if you're a
The
person like me that
Republicans did
just
a
want to
better
be
job
heard,
of
maybe
reforming that
somebody,
coalition.
one person might see
And
it.
now I think what you're
Hit
going to
the
see
like
is
button,
a
subscribe,
shrinking.
because I'm
I
going to add
actually
some
got
more,
this totally wrong. I don't know if you remember a
and
couple years ago,
it will get better
but my thought at the
because
time
that's
was
my goal.
if the
And when
Republicans
I
don't figure out how to
set
fix
out for a
themselves,
goal, I accomplish it.
they were going to go
I don't know how to
and
quit.
lose for the next 10 or
In the
15
military, they didn't
years.
teach
And
us
the
how to
reason I
quit.
said that was they
13
would
Bravo.
walk into every midterm and they would just get their ass handed to them. But I think they figured it out.
150th Field
That this is sort of
Artillery.
this thing that I've been thinking about a lot is there's a
I
fight
just want every average
in
American
Western
to know
societies,
you
and it's a
should
pendulum
all
between
at
labor and
least
capital.
post a video
And it used
if
to be the
something you
thought, the
see is
conventional
not
wisdom was
right
that
in
the
your neighborhoods or
Republicans
your local areas.
were pro-capital,
You need to stand up like
and
the rest of these
Democrats
people,
were
like Barry
pro-labor.
Cunningham, like,
And the
you know,
brilliance of Trump is he took over the Republican
Stephen
Party
Crowder,
and made it totally populist, which is to say
Hannity,
pro-labor.
all of
And
them.
the
I mean,
crazy
Tucker
thing about the
Carlson.
Democrats is
They're all
that
speaking the
they
truth.
are the most sophisticated.
I mean, even if some of them are getting
liars.
rich,
Because if you look
they work
at
for
what
it.
happened
They
under
put themselves
Biden,
out there, and we have to do it too if we want
you
to be
had
rich.
record
We
high
made
stock
ourselves
markets.
who
So
we
it
are.
was purely in favor
And if
of
we're a
asset
product of our environment,
record high
then we just need
deficits,
to break that environment.
record
We need
high
to do what we
illegal
need to do
immigration,
to
record
get
high
where we need
wage
to go.
suppression.
If I
All
want
of
to
these
make
things are
something,
massively
I'm going to get on a
pro-capital, but they
computer,
tried to
I'm going
present
to learn
themselves as
it, I'm going to
pro-labor.
teach myself.
That entire
Right
move is
now,
now
AI is
being
where
done.
it's at.
And all of this
I
data,
know
what
that
it
there's a
does
lot
is
of hype
it'll
around it, but it
consolidate
is
the
an
Democrats
incredible
to a
tool,
shell
and
of
if you
their
know how
former
to
self.
use it
It'll
properly,
take a
and
year
if you
or
figure out how to
18
use
months.
it, it does
But I
cut
think
down
unless they
research
figure out
time,
a
it
totally
does
hard
put
reset, they're
projects
going to be
together
a
better,
really
and it
difficult
does help
struggle to
with the
find a cohort of
programming needs
people
of the
beyond 15
less
or 20% of the
coded
population
enabled
for a
people.
long time.
But, you know, hit that like button, subscribe, join me.
Democrats have
Let's see if we can grow
screwed
the
up.
channel. Maybe your channel will grow. Maybe somebody will see this like Barry or somebody. Maybe they'll see there's average people out there that do want to stand up and fight. I've never been a political person. I've never put my hat into that game. I didn't care. I was a soldier.
You see, Democrats are
But
now
Trump's
seeing
right.
that this
We need our
doesn't
country
make
back
any
for
sense.
us. And we need to stop
You're
focusing
gonna
on what
be
everybody
lost
else
for quite
is,
some
you know,
time.
like making if they make it
Like with
legitimately.
Billy
If they're not
Paxton
corrupt,
said,
then they make it
"Board of
legitimately,
Education
like their
campaign
businesses.
promise made by
We need to
Carter
do that.
to the largest union
And stop
in the country,
whining
the teachers
and
union.
worrying about
Even
other
Democrats
people's
at that
shit.
time did not like the idea.
Let's all band together.
And
Let's
it
figure
has
something
become
out. Let's get
nothing
something
more
figured
than a
out.
cash cow for them
All right.
ever since.
Peace.
And they just steal money.